Welcome to today's reading. This is Trinity Gaia Oracle. Today is kind of a loaded message. Like the meditation, as well as somewhat just the energy is very thick. There is a sense of oppression, spiritual aspects coming in. It could be something that feels like others are projecting their energy onto you. Others are looking to get a rise out of you in the physical, not necessarily just something where you're like, these are not my emotions. These are not my thoughts. Why am I going back to horrible thoughts or memories? These kinds of things where you feel like you're being influenced in some way. Very, very heavy, very charged, very strong. Definitely a sense of desire to protect yourself and to draw those boundaries very clearly with this energy. The good thing is that this reading would not be coming through if you were not a source of innocence, of light, if you were not acknowledged as a means through which positive energy can come into the world and create change, create more. If you could not be that transmutation point for taking that darkness and turning it into light. The concept that even though this energy has come towards you, that the desire is that you believe that you are safe. The problem is that you're experiencing this and it's unwanted and it's unwelcome. And this has you up in arms. This has you very much like telling it how it is. This is where you stand. This is where I stand, and you don't cross that line. I don't allow you to. This is my energy and I am sovereign. I have authority over my energy and I can call for judgment, or the referee to make that to come over and be like, this is a foul. This is a violation of my free will. That would be kind of what the divine is in this aspect. You call upon a higher power than this energy, especially if this energy presents it as itself as authority, as though it's above you somehow, as though it's trying to teach you a lesson by being cruel to you in some way, that it's good for you and you should be grateful for its cruelty. Calling the divine in is the referee coming in and going, yeah, that's a foul. That was her energy or his energy. And this is one of the beings that are capable, one of the beings that are capable of transmuting darkness into light. But this does not mean that you have an eternal experience of being attacked. And this then turns into an acknowledgement that you are a wise old soul. And you have come into that enlightenment in this space. You have been the hermit. You have found the way. You are that light. And you show the way for others. Very clearly as well, the power animal of the bear, be it the brown bear or the polar bear, could be very potent. There is medicine within this, yes. This experience in knowing that you can exercise that boundary and call for judgment, call a foul on the behavior and its violation of your boundaries, of your energy without your permission. There's consequence. That's pretty much what you're doing. And all of you, all of that wisdom from all of your past lives, even if you don't know consciously X, Y, or Z is what needs to be done here, you are timeless. That part of you knows that and is exercising that will, exercising that this is how things need to be done. So you don't have to consciously know it to know with confidence that your self, all of you, is acting as one with you. There's just too much information to hold up in one human mind, all of those lifetimes, all of that experience. So it's surrendering in a sense to you, because you know you would never betray yourself. And you can trust that as well as feel that all of you is behind you in moving towards that common goal of, no, you do not get to do that. I have gotten to a certain point, I'm speaking as you, like you have gotten to a specific point where you're elevated. Your energy has elevated to a point where you can do this and do so, and it have to be respected. You can call foul now. You can call foul now. How freeing and liberating is that, to know that you're not alone? There's a definite sense of community within yourself, like you have a relationship to an extent, a love present in a constant communication with yourself, especially in moments like this where you know that there is one goal, and that goal is for you to be in a state of enjoying life, celebrating your experience, healing, keeping company with energies and individuals in your life that add to your life in a positive way. And if they are being affected by this energy as well, it is extending that out to them because they're within your circle. If this predatory energy is affecting them in any way, it's not just calling foul on how this energy has treated you. It is investigating all the ways in which this energy has violated those around you to try to teach you through making you suffer so that you be grateful for the cruelty via overcoming it. There's a certain point where, yes, that is needed for you to awaken. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form that anything that has happened is excusable, because it's not. There's karma still. And that surrendering of that, you know that justice will be done, and you don't have to be the one to deliver it, which means you get to be free of it. You get to celebrate and be in peace and know that those in your circle are going to be free of this thing's influence, this energy's influence as well. The whole carrying out of the justice thing, that is for the divine. That is for legions of angels that work under Archangel Michael. You know, however you want to look at that. You've passed judgment enough to call for the intervention, to say there has been a foul here. My free will has been violated. I'm an awakened soul. I'm an awakened being. I'm connected to all of me, and all of me is going, oh, hell no. This will not be allowed to continue. I have gone through the pain. I have learned, I have transmuted it. If I am to be this presence to transmute, to assist, to aid, I will not do it through suffering. I will do it through surrender to the divine, to be that channel, to listen to the signs, the synchronicities, but I will not be experiencing predatory behavior visited upon me and then be chastised in some way by it for not having defended my peace. My free will was violated. My boundaries were crossed. I'm calling foul. This is a very intense energy. So let's see what the divine has coming through based upon what has been laid out here. Where is this going? What is the advice? What is the outcome of this? What do you get to look forward to? Because as far as I'm concerned, this is in the divine's hand. Because if you hold on to this, it will follow you. What you focus upon continues to exist. What you deny will also continue to, if you're still holding on to anger around this, it will persist. So surrendering that to the divine, letting the divine handle that, because you've set the boundary and you know it will be respected because the divine has done so before in your life. And if not, open to the concept that you're going to get to witness that right now in this situation, right now. Feel that presence lift off of you. Feel the exhale of knowing that the referee is present. The referee sees through you. The referee understands, and i.e. the divine sees this through you and is respecting your request that you be able to learn and observe and grow and affect the world, not from a place of suffering. You have risen above that. You have awakened. You do not need to be living in that indefinitely. This predatory energy does not want to let you go. Well, too bad. It's going to have to be made to. And all of you is behind that, and the divine is behind that, because for you to be able to be what you desire to be, you need to be in a space where you can actually be that. If you're always being aware, made aware of this predatory energy, how can you possibly be in a state of peace when it's always intruding? Almost as though every way in which it seeks to intrude, it's now being called out. You're calling it out and it's being respected. Every way in which it violates you, it's being called out by you, whether consciously. And I'm sorry if that is something that you're experiencing. That is a very heavy thing to live through. But that's kind of what's going on. Every way in which it could find to still come back to you after you have risen above it, it's being literally, imagine the sword of truth, the Archangel Michael's sword. Imagine that sword just cutting every possible avenue that this thing could possibly come up with to get to you. Just gone, removed, done. Every way it could try to get to you, and every single time it accrues karma. And ultimately, it's up to the divine what to do there, because you're in this space of being liberated from it. Congratulations, you're being liberated from it. And these moments where it does somehow manage, like now, it will not be able to do this again. The way that it reached you, it won't be able to do this again. It has a cost for the way that it reached you. And that is for the divine to carry out. That is for the divine to make a decision on. It is not for you to hold on to, because you hold on to it. You will become like your enemy, which is truly what this predatory energy wants. The more you focus on the predatory energy, the more like it you become. So, by surrendering it to the divine to do this through you, you allow yourself to respond, not react. If you do find yourself angry, it is angry with love of self. It is like that divine wrath kind of a thing of, I am so protective of what I love that I cannot see beyond it being safe. I will not accept any other outcome. That is decisions and actions that are taken from a space of love, not from, I want to see you hurt, or I want you to pay, or vengeance, or anything like that. That is what this energy does. It lives in this state of vengeance and consumption and victimizing and others and feeling entitled to that. So when you surrender that, you don't have to focus on those energies. You get to be in this space of knowing that you're safe, knowing that you're protected, knowing that you're healing. Whatever has been done or visited upon you, you are already receiving the antidote for. And this is not just like something you're experiencing. It's for everyone around you that's in your world. They are receiving this same divine intervention and protection because they are within your life. They are within your circle. So this thing, almost, it's very potent. And this is, this is something that possibly occurred through a relationship, an individual. They were influenced, or you had a dream, or you had a memory come up from a space in your history around intimacy, around not necessarily a romantic relationship, though that is definitely prominent here. That is how this energy gets to you. It's definitely a feeling of it wants to have access to your sacral energy. I'm getting very clearly that it did not get access, but it wants you to believe it did. Because the moment you believe it does, or did, it's got what it's wanted. Now, that has been stopped. That was something that it wasn't capable of in the moment, and you knew that. However, the fact that that's what it wanted is of concern, and the divine is handling that. The divine protects those that it sees as innocent and pure and light. That your intentions are that of an innocent. Yet again, the confirmation that you are innocent. And where this energy can get you is you don't know. You don't know everything consciously. You have to trust that all of you and all of the beings of love and light, like behind you and the divine, they know and they will intervene. So when something like this happens, you move into a space of fear, which is natural and normal. It's basic human instinct to be scared of what goes bump in the dark, right? Or in the middle of the night. Like it's what you don't know inspires fear. However, this is a opportunity for healing for you. And it's up to you. It's your free will. It's your choice to empower this or not to empower this. You may not know the details, the whys, the intricacies, the hows, the reasons, the arithmetic of it, if you will. You may not know that, but you do know that it's happening. You do get to see its effects. You do get to experience the effects. And you get to witness that there is a reason for all of this. Even if you do not know, there is a reason for this. I'm getting a feeling of you're aware of multiple timelines and that there are many other timelines possible that you're not aware of. Almost as though the way is being made for you to be aware of specific ones for you to make decisions upon from this point. Even if you don't know the details of what they do to intervene and protect and defend and support and guide and heal you and help you overcome, you do know that it's happening, and you do know the effects in the past that have reinforced this will be a good experience, even if initially it's not. This predatory energy, this was a crossroads for this predatory energy. This was a decision point. One that was not of your free will, it was of their free will to decide whether or not to cross this line. You did not make this decision, they did. So this is not something that you're responsible for in any way, shape, or form. And the timeline and the path and the decisions that have been made as a result of that, their decision. And it could be more than one individual. It could be interdimensional beings as well. It could be many individuals working together. Possibly their, I don't know if you could say higher self, because they're very low vibrational if they're doing this, but their connection to that all that is, they've been willing to gamble that in order to reach you in this time. And that was the crossroads. They were willing to gamble being disconnected and from all that is in some way, shape, or form. And I feel at this point I'm not supposed to look any further into that. All that you need to know is this will never touch you this way ever again. Ever again. And you can know that. The intricacies of how it's being carried out is a burden that they will bear so that you do not have to. And it could be your future selves. It could be your past lives. It could be your ancestors. It could be beings that you know without a question or a doubt that they have an understanding of the human experience and the loyalty and the love from that perspective to you. But also from a much more expanded way of viewing things as well. Because all of that is working with interdimensional beings. It's working with angels. It's working with the divine. It's working within maybe even like light beings. It's interesting. I'm getting blue light very strongly here. Blue light. Blue and white angel light. Okay, that's definitely a synchronicity for some individuals. Water is of great importance to you as a medium for working with this. To maybe spend some time with water, go like when you wash your hands or when you take a shower or when you're doing the dishes. If you're holding on to any kind of energy, maybe you're not aware of it, but it's part of energetic hygiene to just for one moment, take a deep breath, focus intentionally as you let it out that you're releasing any energy that's static, that does not belong to you. Just surrendering it, just that intention. It seems so small and so simple, but when we focus our minds with intention, it has a huge impact, especially when we have awoken in this life, in this time. It has a huge impact. And it takes just a moment. So if it has a huge impact, why not, right? Another synchronicity is coming out here that you guys are definitely awoken. You have a firm foundation. It's 44. It's a number synchronicity. You may not see only with your eyes. You may see very clearly. Oh, okay. All right. Well, second time that it's come through, like this is oracle energy. You see what others do not. And you're a very unique channel. And because of that, the divine is incredibly protective of your path and your journey and your experience to the point where you understand all of you, where you've unlocked all of you. You can show the way for a lot of other individuals just by living your authentic life, just by being yourself. If you do speak, it's that innocence that comes through, that authenticity, and that resonates with people. And that changes so many free will decisions because the individuals are more informed of what is authentic versus artificial, fake, because they've experienced authentic energy in its most, in an incredibly condensed form. They will then be comparing other energies and their level of fakeness, like that they're shallow versus genuine and authentic. They have a new marker energetically of what authentic energy is. You are the new high point on the bell curve of shallow energy to genuine, authentic energy. You're at the top of that. And it's very few that have been able to experience that level of your energy. So it's a call to them. It's a challenge. It's a gift. Even if they don't necessarily see it at the time, you've set the standard high and they know it's possible now. This is an epiphany. Your gifts as you move through this process now, because this was like a pretty crucial turning point for you. This moment, this experience, and what has been done, and it wasn't what was desired to have happened, because this energy could have chosen a different path, a higher path, and it did not choose that path. But you are moving into unlocking more of yourself because of how assertive you were with laying down that boundary. And if you have not done so yet, know that you have the right to. It is your energy. It is your energy. And calling back your energy to you, cleansed and cleared of anybody else's energy, and just filled with divine love and light, like it's a giant hug coming back to you. You're going to be experiencing in time, especially if you continue to do so, because it'll build as you become more and more healed, as your energy expands, as you dip your toe in the water of your abilities and you kind of acclimate a little bit more, and you can put your whole foot in and then your leg and then you're eventually you'll be swimming. Your gifts will be revealed to you as you are ready to receive and be aware of them. And they're abundant in that it's almost anything that you touch in this essence, it turns to gold. And it doesn't necessarily mean like physical 3D gold money. It's because of that authenticity, the truth is present within it. The love is tangible within it. And that is how it will turn to gold, because that will be sensed by others, other people, other energies that are that sensitive. They will recognize it immediately. And when you do this, especially if it's something where you're breaking out into the world and you're going, this is my voice, this is my experience, this is what I want to do. I want to impact lives for the positive in this area. Maybe you want to be a nurse. Maybe you want to be a teacher. Maybe you want to, maybe you want to drive taxi. It's interesting that's coming through. Maybe you want to drive a taxi. Maybe you want to like volunteer to take people from point A to point B for their medical stuff. You're alone in a vehicle with them, possibly for an extended period of time. Like, you can have impact on people with little things that you do and little things that you say that are very positive. However it is that you are breaking out and you are making waves by interacting with individuals, like your drops of water that you leave behind you, they ripple out, they affect people beyond that individual. That energetic signature that is yours is part of that. The divine sees all. And this energy field of all of this rippling. Such a cool image that I'm getting here, guys. This is more than doable, because all it asks for you to do is be yourself and to be open to interacting with people, not necessarily on an intense level, but definitely that is possible. Some of you have that passion. You want to be therapists. Maybe you want to do this very thing that I'm doing right now. Maybe you want a platform. Maybe you want to sing and perform. It's being you. When you're in this space of this reading that has brought you to this moment, whatever it is that you're doing, you know that it's not about you. It is you being yourself, but truly it's about a much bigger picture. Like, you're gifting your energy to the world by being comfortable being yourself, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing. Your energy, it's very possible, if you've been in hermit mode, has been missing from the world. And there are energies, individuals that are looking for you because they want to work with you. They've been waiting for you. Where are you? They've been needing that little signature that is yours to complete the part of their collage. So they're looking for you. Now, there is a bit of introspection that is being asked of you in this space here, and that is to take a look at what is around you and kind of do an inventory. What is actually holding you in this space of hermit mode? What is holding you in solitude? What is causing you to feel as though freeing yourself is more scary than what you know? That fear of the unknown. While a normal, natural human response to not knowing, and it is definitely associated with that in the placement here. Okay, so I have an example that's coming to light, and when you're a little kid, maybe you're playing the role of the parent in this dynamic because you yourself are a parent, and either way, you have this little kid and they're learning how to ride their bike. They have the training wheels on, and maybe they tried a couple of times and they knew they needed those training wheels. So they have this fear because of those few times they fell of not having the training wheels at all. So what are the training wheels that you're clinging to that allow you to feel like you're going to be safe? That if you somehow lose your balance a little bit, it'll be okay. You won't end up with this, like a skin knee, or, your palm won't have a little bit of road rash on it. What are you holding on to? Because you're riding your bike and you're not needing the training wheels. You're not using them. So why are they still there? Like you've gone around the block and the training wheels haven't touched the road at all. So why are you still wanting them there? What are those things? That's probably a better way of putting it, because you maybe don't even know they're there now. You maybe don't realize they're there. So it's maybe not a question of whether or not, you wanting them there, because this is a metaphor for your inner experience, your inner life, your spiritual aspect, because this is stuff that is hard to explain any other way. So what are the things that are there that you don't necessarily realize are there, but if you were to meditate, focus, do a little observation, take some time when you do have a few moments to evaluate, what are the crutches, in other words, that you have in place, that you lean back on, that you refer back to, that are familiar, that are safe, that are actually holding you back instead of allowing you to launch forward. And they can have their roots in your past. Now, this is going to be a space that will require some shadow work. Some of you have already done this and you're already well aware of what's here, but this particular interaction has a specific flavor, and it is flavor, like it has a very unique taste to it. I don't know if I'm getting taste, but this dynamic of having been attacked in some way, shape, or form, like say it was like a bully in high school or elementary or whatever, and you had an authority figure, when you called them out on it, come in and give some kind of consequence, and the other person was taken out of the space and you weren't aware of what was done there, and you were given a pleasant distraction, something fun, some kind of a reward for having stood up for yourself. But this dynamic, maybe it played out a bit differently in childhood, but you're an adult now, and you're not just an adult, you're an awakened adult. So how do you make peace with that inner child's experience, re-experiencing of this? This is a retelling of the story, but you get to write the narrative. You get to decide how it plays out. This may have happened a few times, so it's something that you experience on a repeat. It's almost a, waiting for the other shoe to drop kind of a thing. And if you're in a space like that, you are somewhatly manifesting the other shoe to drop. You are leaving an opening. This is a really good experience, but that kind of a thing. And it may not be something that you overcome in just a moment. It may take a couple of times for it to really click in for you, and to be gentle and with yourself, to understand that you're not expected to be perfect. You're not expected to be superhuman. You're expected to have the opportunity to make a decision. And if you're here and you're awakened, you're someone who keeps trying until you master it. You don't give up on yourself. You see an obstacle and you think of it like a puzzle, and you're going to solve it. So this definitely has inner child energy present within it, and that repetition, the reinforcement that there's always going to be an other shoe that's going to drop. Something good happens, well, then something bad's going to happen. That kind of a deal. To spend time with your inner child around that. To be able to leave that concept in the past and allow them to be the child, because you're manifesting consciously as the adult. To look at your inner child almost as though they are your own child. To be protective in that essence. To provide that space for them to just play and be a kid. And everything else, they don't need to worry about, because you got it. It's on your plate. They don't need to worry about it. Because your inner child is a very powerful aspect of you when it comes to manifesting. That essence that we believed in as children, that magic was real and that Santa was a real thing and that the tooth fairy really did come and take that tooth and leave $1 behind. We believed it. So that inner child is incredibly powerful when it comes to manifesting. Okay, so for advice going into to end this this reading, just to tie it together, I grabbed some power animal cards, some angel healing cards, and I grabbed some energy healing cards from the Gateway of Light activation deck. So for the power animals, we have the tiger, primal power, creation, perception. And we have another polar bear. What are the chances that the two decks would end up with having a polar bear present? There are actually 3 images of bears in this reading. So that's and they were all in protective spaces or stances around you. Power, wisdom, and peace. We have the cow, fertility, purity, and divinity. And then we have the hawk and the eagle together. Healing, vision, rebirth, and spirituality. For the hawk and eagle, power, creation, illumination, and exploration. That together is giving me the world card with the image there. You have so many allies around you. So many allies around you. Just validation that you are safe the entire time, regardless of what this energy decided to do. They're handling the consequences of this individual's choices. The divine is definitely stepping in and handling that. So you do not have to know that you do not need to spend another moment with this energy on your mind. It's being handled. So this angel healing deck, oracle deck, the healing card came out first actually, and you have a guardian angel that is watching over you while you sleep, while you rest, while you rejuvenate. Spending some time in nature, grounding, would bolster your ability to heal both physically and energetically. Physically, grounding reduces inflammation in your system. But more poignantly, the moments where this energy would be intrusive would be moments like just before you woke up, or maybe you'd be kind of lost in thought, watching a show, reading a book, walking. It would be intrusive in moments where you were actually experiencing enjoyment or peace. And that's not something you need to worry about now. This concept of knowing that you don't need to worry about that is what's healing right now. You can rest. You can rest. And then we had the soulmate card come through, and it's this inner child image of these 2 little kids. And they're just adorable. And that innocence in their belief in magic. So these energies that are looking to work with you, that have been waiting for you to make a big enough ripple in the world for them to see where you are, to know that you're there, to be present, to come towards you so that they can get that piece of themselves from you that you hold, that only you can show them. these soulmates are coming towards you. This is not necessarily going to be a romantic thing. In fact, most often it's not going to be romantic. A lot of the soulmates that you have coming in, they're meant to be there for a moment or a day or a conversation. Or you maybe don't even really know that they've encountered your energy, but you have had an impact on them. Now, for some of you, definitely there's going to be a soulmate aspect that is very romantic in nature coming in, but it will be one that is an innocent, a pure, a genuine. So the foundation will not be, hey, baby. It will be actually knowing them, valuing them as a person. And then it builds from there. So it begins with friendship. Now, 44 did come out in the reading earlier. So whomever that particular individual would be coming in, they're solid in their foundation. You're capable of building that with this person. If you do not already have this in place, some of you know exactly who this is. Okay. And then a confirmation of where you focus, where you direct your energy will flow that way. So if you find yourself being distracted frequently, if you part of your way of coping with this experience to some extent has been through distracting yourself and losing focus on making those ripples, letting your presence be experienced. This is a highlight to refocus in on the positives, refocus in to your life and being present and working on making those ripples on what you're creating so that it can bloom. And then we have the Gaia Gateway activation. So these have been learning experiences. It's very 3D oriented, and that knowledge, that wisdom is coming into your awareness that this is actually a closed chapter. That energy will no longer interact, and a validation of the soul contracts for the soulmates coming in, needing that piece of themselves that only you can reflect back to them. You are a mirror. You're a very potent mirror to a lot of individuals, and for them to really understand themselves, they have to see themselves reflected in you. Maybe it's you straight up saying, like, look, like, your choices are your choices. I'm not responsible for your choices. That's not necessarily a very, like, romantic way of painting being a mirror, but it is a very loving thing to say to someone, even if they don't understand that initially, that in truth, they are in control of themselves. No one else is. When you speak that truth to them, though, they may feel like you're telling them that they don't matter because they may only know how to be in relationship in a controlling, manipulative fashion. You're showing them that they're capable of more by demonstrating it through you not feeding into it, so they know it's possible. And as you go through these experiences, you're going to be remembering more and more of who you are. But it's not going to be done through a negative projection, energetic, oppressive kind of way. It's going to be from a space of empowerment within yourself, and knowing that it's not really about you. And then we have the Temple of Truth and throat chakra, authenticity, self-expression. Like, you are awakened, you know who you are, and you know the truth. You know that it's really not about you. As that mirror for people, it's really about what they see, how they interpret, how they respond and react. It's not about you. I'm not quite sure how much more to it's so, yeah. And water is another synchronicity here, as well as grounding. Grounding, spending time with green stuff, green things, plants. Your manifestation is the I am. And the power is that connection to all of you and the transmuting of that stuck, icky energy and turning it into something that is calm and peaceful and clear and positive, and knowing that you're not alone in helping that process carry out. You are not the only energy present. You are but the channel for it. You are the physical anchoring presence in this reality for that. And you have done the work to do that, to be that. There may be synchronicities that could come in through as well through your dream space. And pay a special attention to the dreams that you're creating. Update them, adjust them. Be willing to leave empty space in those dreams for the divine to fill in the blanks, so that what you have coming in is truly, truly what's going to be capable of giving you the happiness you desire to experience. Sometimes what we want when we get so detail-oriented ends up being something that actually doesn't bring us the joy and happiness that we desire. So leave blank spaces for the divine, for Santa, for the tooth fairy to surprise you. Maybe you end up with a $20 bill under your pillow instead of a $1. Okay, and with that, that'll be the end of the reading for today. Thank you very much for tuning in. Congratulations on your freedom from this. And I am so incredibly excited for you guys, for what you're moving into. You have so much good energy coming in. And be patient and gentle with yourself as you move through this healing process. That saying, Rome wasn't built in a day. And all roads lead back to Rome. That too. The divine within me honors the divine within you. Namaste.